right, so I've got my horse to where I can get ropes around his feet and his legs, and he's okay with that. He can drag a rope, he's okay with that. He's good with a flag, he's good in the halter, he's halter rope. So I'm ready to now put the loop on his foot. So if I have any concerns at all, when I think about putting this rope on that horse's foot and having that noose tightened down, if I have any concern at all that he might have a problem with that, I do more preparation. So when I put the loop on the horse's foot, it is very, very rare that they have a problem with it. Because if I think at all that they might, I just do more preparation with the open loop and with the other ropes. Okay? Because when I put this on, I don't want him to have a problem with it. Okay? So this horse is ready for me to put this on his foot. I have somebody holding my horse for me now. If your horse tied really, 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 really well, you could tie him to do this. If you are by yourself and you absolutely can't get any help and you have to tie him to do this, that has been me, then I might wrap them around a post so that they're not actually hard tied, they're wrapped around a trail up there. Anyway, you have to use your own judgment for what's safe to do. So I have somebody holding my horse because I know this is going to be a really safe way to do it. She knows how to handle a horse, I know how to rope the feet, so here we are. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is my cotton livestock halter that I've unthreaded, and this horse obviously has been trimmed and shod, and so I'm just going to put this loop on his foot. You can, if you have to, step the horse into the loop, okay? But we obviously don't need to do that because I know I can pick up this horse's feet. So I'm just going to pick up his foot and put this loop on his foot. And I'm going to just snug that down. Now there's a lot of different ways to do this, and there's a lot of different people do it a lot of different ways. This is just kind of a way I've developed to do it. I'm a middle-aged woman. I have limited upper body strength and stamina every day, and I have arthritis, and so this is a way that I can actually get this done. You don't have to be able to throw a rope, a lariat, and rope a horse to do it this way. You do have to have him halter broke. But most of us, our horses are halter broke. So I'm hopefully not going to rely a whole lot on strength here. It's going to be more technique, positioning, and I'm just looking for the horse to be calm and be soft with his feet, be attentive, and then I'm looking to teach him the positions, the actual positions that the farrier's going to use or the trimmer's going to use when they work on the horse's feet. That's my main goal. My secondary goal is for me as a horseman to learn how a horse uses his feet. Because if I can work his feet from down here when I can see him, maybe I can work them from up there where I can't see him, I can only feel him. Maybe. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to get this little guy to just unweight this foot. I'm not going to pick it up. So I've picked up pressure there. And as soon as he thinks about unweighting that foot, I'm just going to release. Okay? This is a great exercise in working on your timing. Okay? So I'm just going to apply pressure. When he unweights it, I'm going to release. All right? Now, this position that I'm standing in right here, I call position 1. Position 1 is at the hip bone, 90 degrees to the spine. Okay? At the hip bone, 90 degrees to the spine. As long as you're not too close, it's really hard to get kicked from here. And as long as the handler keeps the horse's head turned towards the person with the rope. Okay? If you tip the horse's nose this way, if the horse were to kick, the kick is going to go that way. If their nose is tipped to this horse's left, the kick is going to go to his right, which is towards me. Really important thing to know when you're holding your horse for your farrier or your veterinarian. If you're directing the horse's head, you're dictating what direction the kick goes. So my handler can help protect me by making sure this horse's nose stays tipped a little bit towards me. So if he were to kick, it would go away from me. This horse isn't going to kick. But if he were, it's her job to make sure that the kick goes the other way, not mine, because she has control of the head. So now I'm going to go ahead and pick up this foot. So I picked up pressure, he's unweighting it. Now I'm going to hold the foot, And you notice my body position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock my knees, lock my elbows out, so that I'm not having to use upper body strength to hold this foot off the ground. And I'm just going to wait for him to get quiet with that foot, like that. And then I'm going to give it back to him. And when you release, release. Once you release, you can't pick on what the horse does after you release. Then that'll kind of make him a little crazy, I find. And sometimes with my OCD, I kind of want to fiddle with what they do after I give the foot back to them. But I found that it kind of can make them pretty tight if you do that. So I try not to do that too much. So now I'll do it again. So this is position 1. I'm just going to take that foot. I'm going to back up here. Instead of bending my elbows and using my biceps, I'll just back up a little bit. Most of the strength right here is just in my low back and my quads. It's not a big deal. It doesn't feel heavy. Now, as he relaxes this foot, it is going to get heavier. It's going to feel soft to him, but it's going to feel heavier to me. So I'll just wait. You can let him step forward. He's just trying to balance. Big part of this for young horses is to figure out how to stand on 3 legs. So they have to learn to balance. They also need to learn that they can move their other feet while their one foot is up. So that's how they get balanced. So I just wait. And all I have to do is go within here. I'm going to stay in my safe position 1 while he works all that out. There was some softness, there's some softness. And he has to keep it soft long enough that I've got time to release. That was close. That was close. There we go. Then I can give it back to him. Okay, so that's position 1. Okay. Position 2 is the position where the farrier would take the foot and put it up on a foot stand right up underneath his belly. So I bring it up here, right there, and as soon as he gets quiet with it and balanced in his other 3 feet, like that, then I can just put it down. And I'm always going to put the toe down on the toe if I can. In this position, you can't put it down on the toe. Obviously, by necessity. But in position 1 and position 3, which I'll show you next, you can put it down on the toes, so you do. Okay, so that's position 2. Now, if he were to really struggle with position 2, I would go back to position 1, where I'm physically the safest, and I'm not going to get my shoulders taken out. So I would just go back to position 1 here, and let him work on that and get him good here, then I would go back and try position 2 again. Position 3 is a position we use when we pick a horse's foot. We use this position a lot, and it's amazing how many horses, this is where they kick the worst, is in the position we use the most. So position 3 is right out straight back behind him, okay? But I'm not going to stretch him out. I'm not going to stress his stifle and stretch him out. I just want him to give it to me and relax. That's fine. So don't be thinking you need to stretch him out, like a calf that's been headed and healed. You don't need to do that. We just need to bring that foot back enough that he gets the idea that that's a position that we're going to want to use and that he can relax in that position. So that's fine, just right there. And you see this horse, he's actually best in that position because he has had his feet picked out a lot and trimmed and everything. So that's the hind end, positions 1, 2, and 3. Position 1 being your home base. If you have any trouble with either of the other 2 positions, go back to position 1. And when you're starting on this, get position 1 really good so that if you do need to go back to it, it's a good place to go back to. You don't want to have a crappy place to go back to if you're having trouble with other positions. With the front feet, there's only 2 positions. And again, you know, this horse is shod, so I'll just take this rope and put it on him. He's wearing bell boots because he tends to play pretty hard and kind of tear up his feet. But it wouldn't make any difference without bell boots. The rope goes in the same place. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put some pressure on that foot and let him unweight that. That's pretty good. So now position 1 of the front foot. I'll wait for him to adjust so that he can get this foot up. Is heel to elbow. Okay. And I'm going to want to try to put it down on the toe. And you can really feel the horse brace up when he thinks he's going to put that foot down flat like that. So I'll just ask him to wait. And just let me put it down on the toe. Just stay soft all the way down to the ground. There. Like that a lot better. Like that a lot. Then he can take it back. Like that a lot. Position 2 with the front end is a position that the horse should be on the hoof stand out in front of him. And young horses that haven't done that before, this is hard because this is a balance pose in yoga. You know, that's what this is. And they have to learn to not fall forward. When they're with the farrier, they can get away with putting a little bit of weight on the hoof stand, but not so much that they tip it over. So that's certainly good enough there. So those are the 2 positions of the front feet. That position 2 you can use to start to get him to lead by his foot. So I'd take that foot and I'd put it out in front of him, and I wouldn't let him take it back. I'd just put it out in front of him and put it on the ground and see if he can move the other 3 feet with it. So see, he's going to do a whole bunch of stuff here because he doesn't understand. So I just keep directing the foot out in front of him, and where he gets the release is out there. That's where I want him to go. Yeah, there you go. That's where I want him to go. So that's basically an overview of what I would do with the feet. Once I get this really, really good, and I feel like the horse is really comfortable with it, he's really soft taking the foot up, he's relaxed with the foot in the air, he can put the foot down relaxed, he's not kicking, he's not stomping, he's not tapping the foot, then I would contemplate turning him loose, like some of the other videos we've put up that you've seen. Then I would contemplate turning him loose and working the foot with the horse loose and a rope on his foot, just to make sure if he ever got hung up in a wire fence or whatever that he'd be okay. And once I get all that done, I feel pretty good about that I've prepared him as well as I can for what might happen in life. So that's basically what I'm looking at.